If you've seen any big blockbuster film released this year, you might have found yourself checking your watch or holding in your bladder, wondering how long that was and was it always this way? Anecdotally, it seems like more the exception rather than the rule when a film release in theaters is less than 2 hours. Throw in the pre-show, almost a half hour of trailers, and Nicole Kidman, and sometimes you find that a whole day has been spent at the theater over the course of one film. It can be jarring to walk into the theater while the sun is shining bright, only to walk out to a full moon. In this video, we will look at evidence and break down if movies are actually getting longer, and if so, what are the causes, as well as some possible solutions. Without further ado, this is Are Movies Too Long? The answer to the question of are movies getting longer is yes and no. Most of the data available on movie lengths is prior to 2020, and if we were to look at those numbers, they would tell you that there hasn't been a significant increase in movie lengths since the 1960s. But if you were to look at the average runtime of the top 10 grossing movies from 2021 to present day, you'd get an average length of 137 minutes, which points to a trend that this decade will have the longest average movie length in history. Even if you didn't believe this prediction, there are a number of theories that would explain why movies feel longer. Did you know that the average human attention span recorded in 2015 was 8.25 seconds? For reference on why that's alarming, a goldfish's average attention span is 9 seconds. So humans right now have more trouble focusing than that fish you won at a carnival. This is down from 12 seconds in the year 2000, and while there isn't a new study from 2023, it can be inferred that our average attention span is now likely lower than 8 seconds. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see how this concerning trend would impact our movie watching ability. Movie watching in the theater demands complete attention, but when our natural ability to stay concentrated without being distracted has deteriorated, that task feels a lot longer than it used to. With TikTok being the most popular app in the world, along with the rise of Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, it's no surprise that a 2-hour movie in 2023 feels longer than a 2-hour movie in 2003. We are so used to receiving our content in short, satisfying bursts that now longer form entertainment, such as movies, have made everyone a bit more fidgety. We are addicted to our phones and the endorphins that it supplies. Americans on average check their phones at least once every 10 minutes. So those stories of movie theater etiquette going to the wayside begin to make more sense. My final theory would be how movie length is marketed. These days more than ever, it takes a lot to get people to go to the theater with the amount of options available at home, as well as the ever-rising price of movie tickets. So in order to incentivize people to come, the movies that people go to the theater to see have to advertise themselves as these long, sprawling epics that are worth the price of admission. How often did we hear that Avengers Endgame was 3 hours long before it even released, or that Avatar: The Way of Water was going to be over 3 hours long? It feels like an event that you plan for, and if you look at how these movies perform at the box office, there's no incentive for big-budget filmmakers to make their movies shorter. Especially since these movies can completely take over a theater and be shown in multiple screens all day and night. Just look at Oppenheimer. It's a 3-hour historical drama that people have been lining up to see since its release last month. This is one of the movie events of the year, and like many of its box office contemporaries, it's a very long one, and those are the films that people remember seeing, which informs their opinion that movies are getting longer. While doing research for this video and a future one, I came to discover that Bollywood films have and have always been very long in length, with the average being somewhere around 2.5 hours, with over 3 hours being fairly routine. What they do differently though is the use of an intermission. For those in the West, intermissions aren't foreign to us as they are commonly used during stage plays and other performances. So why not start using intermissions during Hollywood films? It seems like an easy solution to employ that would increase the engagement and enjoyment of a lengthy film. The only reason this wouldn't happen though is because intermissions mean less times a theater can screen a film during a day, which in turn means less money. From AMC's own website, they report an average of 20 minutes of trailers prior to a showtime. If that number could even be cut in half, it would make a huge difference. Though once again, this is something motivated by the money gained by advertising, so realistically this isn't a viable option. As such, a fair compromise would be listing the actual start time of the movie rather than the start time before the trailers begin. To be clear, I love long movies. When you're watching an engaging film that resonates with you, sometimes you never want it to end. And hot take, but I loved Babylon. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't sigh a little when I was getting tickets to see the latest Guardians of the Galaxy movie, only to see it was over 2.5 hours. There's something light and refreshing when you go see a well-paced hour-and-a-half film, and sometimes I'll go out of my way to support movies with a shorter runtime, which has led to some fun discoveries. To restate my original answer to the title question, yes, movies are a little longer, but also it's our ever-changing world and habits that contribute to this feeling as much as the actual runtime. If you enjoyed this video, I have other interesting movie and TV related videos that you might like as well. If you want more content like this, feel free to like and subscribe. Have a great day.